Hiya guys, and welcome back to Aid's Workshop. Now, I know I've been gone for a little while, probably 3 or 4 weeks now. So yes, I've had lots of messages. Where are you? What's happening? Hope you're okay. Let me start by saying, yeah, everything's fine. Had a little bit of work on. I shall show you that, a bit of turning work. I've had some new stickers arrive, so we'll show you all that first, and then I'll explain why I've been away. So let's start with the stickers, shall we? I've had some stickers from Max at the, let me get it in shot, can't see where we are here, the Swan Valley Machine Shop, and that's from Max in Perth, Western Australia. Check out Max's channel. He does quite a bit on lathe modifications, that sort of thing. He's got a Bridgeport he's working on, he's got a nice old South Bend lathe and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's Max at the Swan Valley Machine Shop. Thanks for the sticker, Max. And I think you're going to go there on the sticker board. So there we are, Max's sticker, the Swan Valley Machine Shop. Up there with some good company. We got Craig's Workshop up there, he's in Australia as well, as is Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. For some reason, the sticker for Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop doesn't stick all the time, so I just put those on there for the time being, just to try and keep it down and get it to stick. But anyway, there we are, Max at the Swan Valley Machine Shop. I've got a little turning job come up. Basically need to make some aluminium bushes. Okay, that's just a quick sketch. They are tubes, let's call it a tube. ID is a nominal 26.7, so that's ID there. OD is a nominal 38.1. Overall length is 84 millimeters again. Some weird chamfers going on. Here is 0.5. Here is 1 mil. Here is 1 mil. And here is 2 millimeters. So some weird chamfers, obviously equal on the other side. And the tolerance I've been given on my drawing, on the proper drawing, is plus or minus 1 millimeter, which is, you know, rule sizes basically. I think these sizes have been given as decimals purely so that you've got a range of 25.7 to 27.7. So yeah, it's saying that the bore is at least 25.7 by the look of it. So I guess it's clearance on an inch. You know, that's more than likely what it is, but it could be anything up to 27.7. And again, 38.1, that could be 39.1. I guess it's clearance on a 40 mil hole. But, you know, we'll aim to get it sort of plus or minus 0.1 on all these sizes. And obviously the 84 could be anywhere from 83 to 85. So yeah, we'll aim at 84. I mean, there's no reason we can't get sort of plus or minus 0.1 on everything, even though the tolerance is plus or minus 1 mil. But it's as easy to do it right as it is to do it wrong, as they say. So I'll chop off a couple of pieces of aluminium, let's say 100 mil long. I haven't got any aluminium tube, but I have got 50 mil diameter aluminium bar. So I'll cut a couple of pieces off, 100 mil long. So I got a bit to hold on in the chuck, and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to use the 3-jaw chuck for this. I've tried it in the normal jaws, and it's 50 mil, is right on the diameter where the jaws start to be dangerously far out. So I've just reversed the jaws for the time being. Got a piece of aluminium up here, as I said, it's 2 inch by 100 mil, or 50 mil by 100 mil, 2 inch by 4 inch. If we're cross-referencing metric and imperial. So I'm just using the push tool with the bearing on. Just to bring that into true. And that's probably close enough, and I can tighten up the chuck at that point. So I think what I'm going to do is skim an area back on the, well, face it off, skim an area back on the end here, perhaps down to 40 mil diameter, so that I can turn it round and get the jaws, you know, the normal external jaws in the chuck, because I'm only holding on about 6 mil here. So yeah, an area sort of 10, 15 mil long. What am I, 100? If I went, yeah, 20 mil back at 40 mil diameter. So I'll just take the push tool out of the way. set up facing and turning tool, and this is the tail end of the bar, so it's it's rough as. And you can see there's a great big lump in the middle, so I'm just going to pull that off first. Okay. Now I'm sticking out a fair old way, so I'm going to be gentle with this. Because I don't want it to come winging out the chuck. So I'm stuck out 4" on a 2" bar. Which isn't too bad, but I'm only holding on the about 6mm of jaw, or 1/4 inch of jaw. So I'm just showing it a bit of respect, as I don't want it to come banging out the chuck on me. Because even though it's aluminium, you wouldn't want to be hit in the face with it. So we're getting there now. I think I'll probably put a centre drill in the end of here and a centre at this stage, just to give it a bit of support while I'm roughing it out on the end here. That really was, it was all out square the end of this. Must be getting somewhere near now. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it's cleaned up 2/3 of the way across. I think it's going to take one more of those. Again, as I was saying, this was an ender bar that was just sawn off by the look of it. It was just as I received it, so. And I think we're there. Might be a little bit on the outside, not worried about that. I'm going to be machining that away anyway. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, there's a bit of a dink there, but that's going to be machined away. So I think the next step is centre drill it and get a centre into it, make it safe. So centre drill it now. Bit faster, I think. This is all going to be machined away. It's going to be a 26.7mm hole right through it, so. But I wouldn't want to be drilling that hole with a very small amount of support that part's got in the chuck at the moment. So this is a sort of preparation stage, shall we say, to be able to hold the material that I have got safely. There we are, that's up with the centre. So I think I can't see any reason why I shouldn't turn it back at down to 40mm, should we say, as far as I can go. There's no reason why not. I think I'll do it over about a 20mm distance. So I'll just give myself a 0 there and just touch off on the OD there, give myself a 0 again. And I'm looking for, if it's 50 now, I'm looking for 5mm aside. So I'll put a mil cut here. So I'll be taking 2mm off the OD. So just give myself some zeros on the end. And I'm going to turn it down to 40mm over a distance of 20. So yeah. Here's my brush, there it is. Keep that swarf out of the way. So I'm taking about 1.5 mm off of diameter with each pass. Running at 1100 RPM. And again, I'm using my power feed down here on the end of the lead screw, as opposed to the gear train in the headstock. But engaging and disengaging it using the you know, the standard lead screw handle. Okay. Come on, out you come. You don't want big wraparounds. Oh, that cut was a bit gentle. That's doing it by hand rather than having a look at the DRO. Ah, yeah, wouldn't you? Okay. We'll have that out of there, shall we? Right, let's see. Here we go. Back at it. Okay, I dropped the cut down to half a mil a side, so I'm taking a mil off per pass. So a few more passes off here just to bring it down to about 40 mil, and we'll bring you back when we're done. So it should be the last cut. A bit of WD-40 on there. It should bring me down to 40 mil. That gives me a safer bit to hold on in the chuck. So down to 40 mil over a length of 20. Okay. Let's have a little measure of that. 40.1, that's fine. Okay, so I think I'll whip this one out, put the other one in, and machine it up to the same stage, and then we can turn them both round in the chuck to do the actual machining of them. So that's the sort of preparation of the part, shall we call it. So we put it the other way, in the chuck, with the normal jaws back in, and it's hard back against the face of the chuck, and holding a lot better now. I'm a lot more confident that I could rough it out, as it were. So I've just faced it off. I'm going to centre drill it again on the other end, or on this end, and use the centre, and I'm going to rough the whole bar down. I've decided at this point I'm going to rough it all down to that 40 mil, so that I've got a piece of stock that's somewhere near to start with. So yeah, just centre drill it. I've still got a bit of WD-40 on this centre drill from the last time. It's cutting quite nicely. Okay, up for the centre. Oh, here you come. And yeah, much the same as you saw me do on the other end. I've still got a 0 set, so I can go to the same diameter as I've turned down the bit that's in the chuck. So yeah, off to go. So I'll bring you back when we finish this stage. I'll probably do the 2 of them and then bring you back. So just the last cut on here now to take it down to 40 mil, the same as the bit that's in the chuck. And I've now got a bit of stock that's 40 mil diameter instead of 50, and a bit closer to what I'm actually looking for. So yeah, this whole sort of sequence is purely just roughing out to get an appropriate size stock material, as I didn't have any 40 mil in stock, and it is a rough rush job, shall we say. Oh, it would do. Right at the end. Okay, that's that. And then a wrap around, as usual, right at the end, at the delicate bit where you can't see what you're doing. That's the luxury of the DRO, I suppose. You don't have to see. You can see the clock or the dial on the DRO, or the screen, should we call it. And yeah, when you can't actually see what's going on, it's not too bad. But that's one roughed out, down to 40 mil diameter. I'll pull my chuck key out. Whip that out now. Oop. So there's the one. So I'm going to do exactly the same on the second one now. nothing much to see really. We'll bring you back when we're done. So I got it set back up. I've got about 90 mil sticking out of the chuck now, so that I've got enough to machine the whole length. 84 mil is the whole length. And I'm just picked up on the existing centre drill, and I'm roughing out the bore. 17 mil drill first of all. I'll go right through with this. I'll probably go up to, I think my biggest drill is a 23. I may have a 1-inch drill here somewhere. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, then I'll go through with a 23 mil drill. Get this swap out the way. Don't want nasty wraparounds. Yeah, through with a 23 mil drill, and then I'll have to get the boring bar out then to do it to size. So the idea being that while I'm putting loads of heat into this, obviously the OD is oversized, the bore will be oversized, and I've run out of travel on my club. But yeah, basically roughing it down to leave it, you know, with a sort of mil or so on every face before thinking about finishing cuts, that sort of thing, or taking it to anywhere near the finished dimensions. Because obviously with this sort of roughing out that I'm doing, I'm going to be whacking a load of heat into this part, especially with it being aluminium. So yeah, we want to get rid of the heavy operations before we think about finished sizes. So it's squealing a bit, but I've got the 23 mil drill up now, going in behind the 17. And it's cutting nicely. That's going to leave, yeah, 3 or 4 mil in the bore. I'll probably bore it from this stage. So put it back in, and I'm just boring it out now to size, the finished size of 26.7 mil. I've got a boring bar, a 10 mil one, you can just see it in shot here, 10 mil diameter, which is long enough, way long enough, to do the full depth, 84 mil, you know, that's needed. But oh my goodness, if I, you know, had it sticking out 86 mil, something like that, it was chattering and howling like a good one. Just not rigid enough. So the only other boring bar I've got is a 12 mil one, so I'm up to the 12 mil, and it's barely holding in the tool post. It's in there probably about 10 or 15 mil. So I'm just managing, as long as I run the RPM nice and slow. So I'm running about 600 RPM, nice and gently, nice fine feed. I can take half mil cuts out the board, the mil out at a time. But it, yeah, I mean, it chatters and howls a bit, but as long as I got a nice fine feed and a nice small cut for the finishing cuts, it removes any of the chatter. And I've got the boring bar stuck out to the absolute minimum. And I'm just boring it 84.3 mil deep. So I'm on a finishing cut now. I'm going into 84.3 mil deep. And this should be the final size. So I'm having to run very slow. I'm running at 500 RPM, fine feed rate, just letting it do its thing. And I'm actually running a spring pass through at the moment. You can hear a sort of resonating sound. Obviously it's a tube, which doesn't help. It's stuck out a long way from the chuck, which doesn't help. And I've got a small, or relatively small, boring bar for the length that I'm boring. So I'm boring 84 mil deep, and it's only a 12 mil boring bar. So yeah, not the ideal situation. I will have to get myself, I believe, make myself up a larger boring bar. So anyway, I think that should be it. I'll just get the depth mic in there now. Let me switch that feed off. Depth mic, the telescopics, which I'm hiding here somewhere. Okay, I'll just mic it up. Just come on camera here a second. Yep, that's measuring up with the mic here, and I'm getting Yeah, I'm getting 38.11, something like that. So, I'd be happy with that. Just, again, as I was saying, just the bare bones. I'm just going to come across and take a whisper of this front face, because I've moved it in the chuck since I machined it. Yeah, as you can see, there's a that or so out on the end face. Well, that was 0.02, very nearly there. I'll do nicely. Give myself a 0 there. So it's the end face true to the bore. I'll just touch off on the OD. Again, that's throwing a bit. Let me just get a measurement. I'm sure I was aiming at 40 mil, wasn't I? Something like that. 39.87, that one. So I can take at least a mil off. So what I'll do, I'll 0 the DRO. If I take 0.25 cuts, something like that. Let's have a play with the feeds and speeds here. Back up to what? 1000 RPM? That looks okay. Probably speed my feed up a little bit. Yeah, we'll go for that. Keep pulling the swarf out the way with my pliers. So I give you a shot from a different angle. Yeah, we got a beautiful finish on there. But as I was saying, the swarf is a bit stringy, but it is very fine. I'm going to keep it away from the chuck. We should be all right. That's probably going to be famous last words now, isn't it? It'll probably have a big wrap around. Be careful not to hit the chuck with the end of my pliers. Yeah, there we go. No great issues. I've got material to come off. I'll get my camera out of the way of that. So the drawing calls for a 0.5mm chamfer, 45 degrees on the end of here. So I've set my, well, it's not a 45 degree tool, it's more of a diamond shaped tip, but I've set up the approach angle of the tip at 45 degrees. So I'm just going to gently wind in until I get a touch. Which is there. And it's calling for a 1/2 mil. Well, the one end is a 2 mil chamfer, and this end and the other end is a 1/2 mil. So I'll aim for the 1/2 mil one, on the grounds that if I go too far, I can always turn it into the 2 mil one. So anyway, I've set a 0, and I'll just wind the tool in 0.5mm. And there we are. That's a 0.5 45 degree chamfer by 0.5 mil. Yeah, I've basically, from touch on the extreme edge, if I wind in 1/2 mil on the DRO, that's a physical 1/2 mil it's gone in, which gives me a 1/2 mil chamfer. Right, okay, we've got that out of the way. So I'm just going to set the boring bar up now. I've got it set up from before. This is actually the second one of the two that I'm doing. I did the first one to get myself a bit of a method and thought we'll film the second one. So here we go. So I've got my boring bar here. I'm going to go onto the far side, set the approach angle of the tip up at 45, which is there. It's not critical, the 45. I mean, you can see a sort of bisect the 90 degrees. You can see it, you know, within a degree or so. So right, lay it in reverse. Just get somewhere near so we don't get a tool rub. That's just touched. Set a 0 again on my travel in this direction, and I'll just wind in 1mm because this is a 1 mil chamfer. I'll speed things up a little. Okay, so the 1mm. Had a little bit of chatter there. Better. Yeah, we've got rid of the chatter. Okay. And I got to the 1mm. So next step, inside's done, outside's done. In fact, it's thrown up a little burr there. I think a bit of Scotch-Brite might be in order there. I'm going to part it off, and I'll get the parting tool up and part it off 85mm long. So I've got the parting tool in place, and I'm just going to line it up on the leading edge of the part, which is there, and give myself a 0. And then I know I can come back 85mm, which is, where are we? There, lock the carriage, and it's ready to part off. I think we're going to need something to catch that with. So I'll just put my design shot, well, not quite, put my tailstock back on. I normally pull it out the way for, let me bring you out with it. Ooh. Here we are, you can see where I am. I put my tailstock back on. I normally take it out the way for filming from the end of the lathe. So you got a piece of bar in the chuck. And that's basically, I'll just push that up inside there. When the part falls off, it's not going to go flying all into the bed and getting dinged up. So, have a look at the speed. I think that should do me. Just check my distance, 85, yeah, that's fine. And we'll part the blighter off. Got a bit of WD-40 in the can here. Give it a squirt now and again, keeping an equal pressure on the parting tool. Trying to keep a consistent pressure on it so they're not stopping, so I don't get a glazed surface. Should be somewhere near now. I can hear the tone changing. And there she blows. And as you can see, the part's been caught on a little bit of rod. Okay. So the final step with these is going to be to face them to length. So what I'll do is I'll measure them up where they are, do a touch off, and then remove whatever's needed. Chamfer on the inside, chamfer on the outside. So that's going to be the next steps. So I got it back up in the chuck now. I haven't tightened down really tight on the chuck. I've just nipped it to. The machining I'm going to be doing on this is very light. It's back hard against the chuck face, so it should be quite well supported. So I'm just going to again, in fact there's a, get rid of that in the centre there. Okay, so I'm just going to touch off on this front face. We'll call that touched off. Set a 0 on the DRO, and I measured it up beforehand and it measured 84.92. So that's 0.5 off it. As I said, I'm only going very gently with this because I don't want to damage the OD of the part. Okay, that's 0.5. That's actually 0.92, so this should do the job. Okay. So theoretically, there's a bit of a burr in there. We need to we can have him out of there. That's where I bored it to, you know, just like 0.2 over depth. So it's left a little burr. There we are. We can have him out. Gives me something to touch off, or a corner to touch off on to do the chamfer. So I think what I'll do, yeah, I'll do it all in one hit now I'm here. So let's do the outside. Again, 45-degree approach angle with the tool. Let's see how we get on with this. So I want to touch off first. There we go, until I see a whisper. And this is going to be a 2mm chamfer. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this all in one go. We'll see how it goes. I've got it going quite slowly to avoid the chatter. That's a 1mm. Doesn't look too bad. 1.5. Still seems okay. Two mil. Just got away with it, I think, before it started to howl. So yeah, back up with the boring bar, do the inside as you saw me do before. So yeah, just a simple little turning job. I believe they were some sort of spacers, something to do with a boat or a yacht or something like that. But yeah, simple little job. You know, tube, 2 diameters, base to a length, funny chamfers, job's a good one. So I didn't bother showing you the completed articles, but you saw generally what I was doing. Right. So, I've been AWOL. A lot of you have messaged me and what have you, you know, via various sources, by email and what have you, asking, you know, am I all right and all the rest. Let me just say, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. And to explain my absence for, yeah, pretty much a month now, I've got a job, a new job. Well, pretty much it's my old job that I did, that I've gone back to. Right, okay, let me give you a bit of background information. I've taken a bit of time off. I've taken pretty much 2 years off for various reasons. You know, I've kept myself busy with, you know, the YouTube thing, AIDS Workshop, and as you see, I do various little bits and pieces now and again, but I'm not earning a living at it. You know, you can't earn a living, you know, with my sort of level of channel on YouTube. If I had sort of 10, 15,000 subscribers and I was doing the Patreon and the merchandising and all that, then I dare say you could make like a weekly wage out of it. But that's not why I'm doing YouTube. I'm doing it for the fun of doing it, not to make any money out of it, you know, as such. It pretty much does cover its costs to a degree, but not to the point where it would buy me a new milling machine. So, we'll get onto that in a minute. Yeah, I've been spending 50 odd hours a week out of the house with the job. You know, by the time I leave the house in the morning, get back, I could be 11 hours away from the house during the day. And as you can appreciate, after having 2 years without doing that, I've been getting home and I've been absolutely knackered. While I get back into the swing of it, you know, the swing of it, so to say. So yeah, I've been getting home from work, having my tea, having a shower, and pretty much I'm in bed by 9 o'clock, ready for the next day's onslaught. And it's been a particularly busy time the last few weeks as well. Anyway, enough about my worries. But yeah, that pretty much answers it, because I've gone back to work and I haven't had time, with me being tired and what have you, over the last few weeks to produce any videos. But we are back now. So on to the milling machine. Yeah, various milling machines I've been looking at, and I think I need to get what I want, you know, straight out of the bag, as it were. I need to spend a little bit more money. And of course, funds permitting, now that I'm back in work, I can increase the pennies for the milling machine a little bit faster. So, yeah, I mean, that will be coming, but I've got no schedule for it. On another note, mini lathes, you know, the actual mini lathe as they're called, not like my Walker 180, which is a sort of large mini lathe, shall we call it. It's not a large lathe by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not the little tiny mini lathes with the 80mm chuck. I got the opportunity to get hold of one, used one. You know, it needs a lot of work, but that's not a problem. And I think it'll make a nice little winter project. And I do like doing, I don't show this, but I do like doing little bits of clock repairs and things like that. And for tiny spindles, where I could just have that set up for that sort of thing, with a fixed carriage and a accurate compound, an accurate top slide and compound, I think a little mini lathe might be the ideal weapon for the job without going out and buying a jeweler's lathe, so to speak. So yeah, that's I've got the opportunity to get hold of one, as I said, bargain basement price maybe. This thing's literally ready to go in the bin, but and nothing with it, just the basic machine, not even any reverse jaws. But I think I'm going to get hold of one of those, maybe get some collet setups for it. Might be able to use my ER32 collets, and or might go for something smaller. We'll see. So as we go forward, I'm hoping to get hold of that, and that'll be a nice little project for the winter months. Well, it's dark every night when I get home from work. I can come in the shed here and have a potter with that and take you along on the journey. So there is that. Schedule of videos, as you all know, there were occasions when I'd be putting them up every couple of days. Until I get back into it and get sort of up and running again, back to the old age, it'll probably be like a fortnightly video. But obviously I'll try my best to get the sort of level of content, or get back to the level of content where I was. Okay. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. Explain why I've disappeared, and where we're going to go forward from here. So yeah, milling machine probably sometime in the spring, I would have thought, when the nights start getting a bit lighter. And through the winter, obviously the normal sort of bits and bobs that we always do in the workshop here, shed talks and what have you, and perhaps a bit of a rebuild, upgrade, modification aid style to a mini lathe. Many YouTubers have done mini lathes and the various sort of standard modifications that can be done. And, there are a lot of them, but I'll do it in my own way. And we'll see from there, But it's going to be more for use for very small parts rather than trying to optimize it to do the biggest parts possible on a mini lathe. Yeah, you know where I'm going. Anyway, guys, thanks for your patience in awaiting my new video. I'll just say that, as I said at the beginning of this bit, we've had lots of people emailing me and what have you, hoping I'm all right and all the rest of it. When I disappear, I can assure you I'm absolutely fine. Nothing more than a head cold, I should say, which is pretty much par for the course in Wales at this time of year. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we shall see you all very soon. Cheers now.